Okay, so I got some more as the Shannon Sharpe world turns and crumbles. You are now witnessing a self-destruction from Shannon Sharpe, aka Club Shay Shay. So if you haven't checked out my video a couple of days ago, I predicted a lot of stuff that happened when I uploaded that video. I knew the playbook. Now more audio has came out. There are more accusers. Now we get a clearer understanding on why Shannon Sharpe left Fox Sports 1. There was an incident. Shannon Sharpe, allegedly, Shannon Sharpe choked a female that worked at Fox Sports 1. Now, his lawyer issued a statement. Shannon Sharpe's own lawyer issued a statement saying that there was no choking involved, but he did indicate that there was some physical contact. Okay, it was just horseplay. He described it as horseplay. So that person settled out of court with Fox Sports 1 and Shannon Sharpe. So now we understand why he left Fox Sports 1. I thought it was a money issue. A lot of you people thought it was Skip Bayless's fault. Okay, a lot of you guys got a lot of egg on your face, and I think you need to go subscribe to Skip Bayless' YouTube channel and humbly apologize to that guy, because he had nothing to do, and I always knew he had nothing to do with why Shannon Sharpe exit stage left from Fox Sports 1. But that's neither here nor there. So now there's more audio. There's another lady accusing of some physical contact from Shannon Sharpe. And this is looking bad, folks. This is really looking bad. ESPN is scrambling in their offices. They let go of a couple of people. This looks bad. Looks all around bad. And I saw Michael Irvin talking about it. But I heard a lot of people say this, and even Sage Steele alluded to this. Sage Steele used to work at ESPN, got let go by ESPN. ESPN felt like Sage Steele was hurting their brand, aka their bottom line with the political talk. Jamel Hill no longer works at ESPN for the same exact reason. You had Paul Pierce, who used to work at ESPN. ESPN let go of him because he was on Instagram Live hanging around a bunch of strippers. Okay? You got Michael Irvin, who got let go of by ESPN because of the incident at the hotel, which later on, Michael Irvin cleared his name, but he didn't get his job back at ESPN because, once again, it messes up ESPN's image, aka their bottom line. Okay, so you got all these people that have been let go of ESPN because it affect their image, aka the bottom line. But Shannon Sharpe is still has a job with the worldwide leader of sports. It's bad enough he kept this job on the Instagram Live thing where he quote unquote accidentally pushed the Instagram Live button, and he had an afternoon delight. You could hear what was going on. You didn't see what was going on. You just heard what was going on. Okay? And now, and people thought that he should at least gotten suspended. Nope, he didn't get suspended. He didn't affect ESPN's image or their bottom line. Okay? Because he's too big of a commodity for ESPN. Now, First Take, they was doing great on the ratings. When they brought Shannon Sharpe in, they exploded. And they're so big, Fox Sports 1 had to cancel Undisputed. But, Undisputed was always always the third best show in the morning, okay? Even when they had Shannon Sharpe. So, ESPN looked at it as, okay, it's an isolated incident. He's, at the end of the day, he's popular. A lot of people like him. A lot of people like his takes. He's funny. He's entertaining. We're going to let this one slide. Where smoke, what they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And now you got this hot, steaming pile of crap laid on you with the OnlyFans model. And you got the audio recordings. And there's been talk that there's a tape out there where Shannon Sharpe recorded himself. This is not a situation where she hid the camera and Shannon Sharpe didn't know that the camera was there recording him. No, he knew full well he was being recorded. Okay? And there's going to be a tape that's going to float around, but Shannon Sharpe alluded to it's going to be 10 minutes. But they're only going to show a 30-second clip. So you got to wonder that a 30-second clip. You got to wonder that 30-second clip, he must have said something wicked and nasty, and he can't talk his way around it. Now, a lot of people are up here talking about, if you listen to the conversations that were recorded, it's almost like they've been, clipped together. It's got long pauses. Shannon Sharpe's own lawyer took to social media and released a statement saying, no, these recordings are authentic. These recordings are not being clipped. These recordings are not AI. This is the real deal, Holyfield. Okay, but a lot of you guys, y'all not talking about that. Y'all maneuver around it and said, okay, well, she must have did something to it. And at the same time, you're calling this OnlyFans model slow. All right, she's slow, but she's slow enough to fool the biggest fool who had the most to lose, which was Shannon Sharpe. And, I don't go, particularly on this channel, I try not to use profanity, but Shannon Sharpe, what the fuck was you thinking about? You're 60 years old, dude. You got a lot riding on you. Okay? You was on the verge to sign $100+ million deal doing your podcast. Okay? You just recently signed a multi-year deal with ESPN. You just got back some of your sponsors because a lot of your sponsors exit stage left because of that Instagram Live incident. All right. Club Shay Shay look like it's, getting back into the fold again. You starting to get some guests in there. A lot of people that canceled on you because of that Instagram Live, people starting to, slowly but surely allow you to interview them. And, what the fuck you was thinking? Okay? It's bad enough you're dating someone that your daughters who are 30 are older than this OnlyFans model. You started dating her at 19. I think she's 20, 21. And you're in your late 50s, going on 60. Just that alone, it doesn't look good. And I know a lot of people are going to start using the Brian Billick metaphor. Well, what about Brian Billick? Brian Billick dates a young girl. What about Tracy Ellis Ross? She got on social media saying she wants to date younger men. Well, why y'all don't be getting them? Because neither of those examples are a CEO of their own company. And neither of those two examples work at the worldwide leader of sports, ESPN, which has been owned by Disney. And if you don't believe the hype, look at Disney's track record. They get rid of people quick, fast, and in a hurry if they feel like they're affecting their brand, aka their bottom line. Shannon, you was there. You knew, okay, you was a media member when you saw the demise of Michael Irvin. when he's no longer at ESPN. You was a media personality when Sage Steele was let go of by ESPN. Jamel Hill, Paul Pierce just did an Instagram live with a bunch of strippers. ESPN said that's not a good look. Just take the rest of the week off. And by the way, you're fired. Okay? And I know I'm missing a lot of other people that ESPN has let go of. Rob Parker had an incident on First Take. He said something, and ESPN just let him go. Hell, Stephen A. Smith almost lost his job on his comments about the Ray Rice incident. Stephen A. Smith was that close of losing his job. And if he didn't humble himself quick, fast, in a hurry, release a statement, apologize, if he didn't do all that, I don't know if Stephen A. Smith saw the writing on the wall or someone who represents Stephen A. Smith saw the writing on the wall and said, hey, yo, dude, you need to change course on this real fast because you're about to lose your job. If you haven't seen Stephen A. Smith comment about Shannon Sharpe, go to his YouTube channel. You can tell Stephen A. Smith knows that this is the end of Shannon Sharpe working at ESPN. I don't see how. And as far as that $100+ million deal, just doing your podcast, I don't know if the volume is offering him that or a competitor to the volume is offering him that. But believe you me, they are going to reduce that amount if he gets that amount at all. Because I get sneaking suspicion more and more stuff is about to drop. More and more women are about to come out. A lot of women, just looking at it as a cash grab. They just want to put their name out there, see if they can get some type of money. Never had any relationship with Shannon Sharpe. But there's a lot of women out there who had spent some time with Shannon Sharpe. And they're coming out. And I know a lot of you guys are going to sit up there and say, well, why didn't it come out 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 4 years ago? Dude, first of all, they just thought that they was an isolated incident and probably they was too scared to challenge Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is the biggest media personality in sports entertainment. Well, he was. Are you going to go and go on social media and talk about your time with Shannon Sharpe and it wasn't pleasurable? Do you know all the Shannon Sharpe fans are going to jump on that woman, calling her a liar? What was it, like 4 months ago? There was some lady some lady on social media said that she had a romantic relationship with Stephen A. Smith. But you know what Stephen A. Smith did that Shannon Sharpe could have learned from that? Stephen A. Smith didn't even address it. He just kept it pushing, kept it moving. And then what happened? People were uninterested in her story, and they moved on to another story. And now nobody don't even talk about it. I bet a lot of you guys don't forgot about it. Skip Bayless, Fox Sports 1, and Joy Taylor, they 4 months ago, some lady is accusing them of harassment when she used to work at Fox Sports 1, the makeup. She was like a makeup designer or the makeup artist, whoever you does makeup. And they're quietly putting this to bed by signing, they're in the process of just buying her silence. And now no one don't even talk about it. Joy Taylor was suspended for a couple of weeks. Now she's back on speak. Skip Bayless didn't even address it, didn't even talk about it. He's still doing good. Fox Sports 1, they don't move past it. This, they're buying her silence because they knew that she had some other stuff that would have made all three of them look bad to the point of where Fox Sports 1, they already done got rid of Skip Bayless for other reasons. But Joy Taylor could have lost her job. That would not have been a good look for Fox Sports 1. I believe the executive who had the relationship with Joy Taylor still works for Fox Sports 1. I'm not 100% sure. Y'all comment in the comment section. Tell me if I'm right or wrong about that. But, Stephen A. Smith said something. And I know y'all call Stephen A. Smith, well, I'm not going to call him that. Uncle, you know what. But the one thing about Stephen A. Smith, he's not going to F up his money. He's not going to go to bat for somebody that not only he didn't fumble his bag, he just blew his bag right out the water, which is Shannon Sharpe. Nobody is going to attach themselves and say they're backing Shannon Sharpe. If you've been listening for the past couple of weeks, everyone has talked about it. And what everyone says? Oh, I hope this is not true. I pray for this not to be true. I hope some way they can work this out. Nobody's pledging that Shannon Sharpe is 110% innocent. Nobody's standing in front nor behind Shannon Sharpe. No one's representing Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe got himself into this. He's going to have to figure out a way to get himself out of it. And now, more breaking news. He's taking some time away from ESPN. He said he's going to be back when football season starts. I don't think he's coming back. I think, and for those out there that think that, that was a smart move for Shannon Sharpe to do that. I mean, you got to give him some dap on that. Please. You don't think that ESPN told him if more and more stuff comes out, we're going to have to suspend you? Or you don't think that someone probably whispered in his ear saying, hey man, you might want to take a leave of absence because they getting ready to let you go? This quote unquote time off, it just softens the blow for ESPN to release a statement talking about, they're severing their ties with Shannon Sharpe and wishing Shannon Sharpe the best on his future endeavors. That's what this is ultimately going to be. Because there's no way Shannon Sharpe is going to still be allowed to work at ESPN when you got all these other people who was let go of by ESPN for less. Sage Steele, all she did was, spoke her mind about politics. I don't think you should mix politics with sports. That's just me. All right. I don't think that there's a place at ESPN where you should be promoting your views on the president or politics in general. I think you should do that on your own platform. When you're on ESPN, you just talk about the sports at hand, sports entertainment. That's just my opinion. And, ESPN let Sage Steele go. They let a lot of people go. Jamel Hill. Paul Pierce got fired from ESPN for far less. If you want to feel sorry for someone that lost their job, it's Paul. Now, he bounced back at Fox Sports 1. But I guarantee he's not making nowhere near the money he was making at ESPN. But that's neither here nor there. All right? But Paul Pierce, if you want to feel sorry for anybody that got let go of at ESPN, you should feel more sorry for Paul Pierce. All right? He got let go because he was on Instagram Live hanging out with some strippers. He looked intoxicated. Yes, it wasn't a good look for ESPN. They could have easily suspended him or, called him into the office and tell him how bad it looks. He knows it looks bad. But ESPN said it's affecting our bottom line. And he is gone. Shannon Sharpe has had numerous attempts at the apple and still works at ESPN. There's no way you can spin this to Shannon Sharpe's advantage. There's already reports that there's a lot of women who work at ESPN, aka Malika Andrews. I forgot her name. Whatever her first, I think I butchered her first name. But not only her, but there's other women that work at ESPN that is not happy that Shannon Sharpe is allowed to still work with these. They're no longer accusations, folks. You can say that these are accusations. You can say the recordings are been doctored or AI. You can say all that stuff. But I want to know what people are going to say when we see this 30-second clip of him performing his afternoon delights on a 19/20-year-old girl. And what comes out of his mouth? What type of verbiage is going to come out of his mouth that he shouldn't even say it in the first place? You shouldn't even be in a relationship with somebody. You shouldn't be with anybody in a relationship like that in the first place. In the beginning, you're pushing 60. She's barely 21, dude. Who has the most to lose? Her or you? She don't have anything to lose. She's on OnlyFans. She's already taking L's. She's on OnlyFans, dude. Dude, you have a successful podcast. You have Nightcap. You have ESPN. You was almost on the eve of signing a $100+ million deal. You already signed a multi-year deal with ESPN. And if you would have played that to your advantage, which I know he would have, they would have ripped that multi-year contract and gave you even a bigger contract to have your own show on ESPN. You had all of that stuff, and it is gone. It's gone in 60 seconds. Now, I don't know if y'all saw Shannon Sharpe last night on the draft, but he looked really uncomfortable. And I don't know if I was in Shannon Sharpe's, one of his friends or his advisors, I would have advised him not to go to the draft. Let Chad do it, okay? And you just take the night off. Just take the draft off. Let Chad do it. Chad's entertaining enough to do Nightcap. Maybe have someone else, one of your NFL buddies. I don't know who else they have, like Dion. Dion would have been a great draw on Nightcap. Deion Sanders and Chad. And then they would have been talking about why his son hasn't been drafted in the first round. That would have been great entertainment for Nightcap than having you just slouched over, look like you don't want to be there, but you're putting on a front, and you're embarrassed, and you're really not meeting your expectations. That looked very uncomfortable. It looked so uncomfortable. I had to watch a draft on someone else's channel. Cam Newton. I went on Cam Newton's channel, Bleacher Report, the NFL, I was, surfing around, but I just could not watch Shannon Sharpe. He looked a mess. He looked like a hot mess. This, I'm telling you guys, this does not look good. And people think the worst thing that's going to happen to Shannon Sharpe is losing his gig at ESPN. The worst thing that's going to happen to Shannon Sharpe is now he's not going to get $100+ million deal. Maybe he'll get 50. Maybe he'll get nothing at all. A lot of people think the worst thing that's going to happen to Shannon Sharpe, that if he's found guilty in this civil court, he's going to have to pay a lump sum to this girl. Or as more stuff comes out, and I feel like if he gets any type of indication that they're going to release this 30-second video of him performing Afternoon Delights with this 20-year-old, he's going to settle fast. And I think it's going to be way above the $10 million mark. He's going to settle fast to make this go away fast. Because as of right now, I think that $100 million deal I think he can salvage that deal. I don't know if he's going to get $100 million, but I still think there's a deal on the table. If he hurries up and get this move past this, maybe he can come back to ESPN. Even though I don't think ESPN is going to bring him back, because they're going to have to stand on all 10 toes. If they bring him back, the sponsors are going to want answers. The audience is going to want answers. The women who work at ESPN it's going to be a total mess. It's going to be a shit show. I don't know how that plays out. But this, folks, looks super bad. And I don't think on Club Shay Shay it's going to take a little hit, because I don't think the guests that he wants to interview, they're not coming on Club Shay Shay. They're going to either wait for this to die down in the next 3 or 4 years, or just not come at all. This is bad. And like I said, all that stuff, that he better hope that this is, if he's found guilty in a civil court, I don't think he wants to go that far with it. Okay? I'd rather settle than be found guilty in a civil court, because you got to realize that there's a possibility that this can go criminal. And like I said, there are women now coming to the forefront talking about their time with Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe is not this gentleman that he advertises on TV and on social media. He treats women like they're objects. And there's too much evidence that points in the favor of this OnlyFans narrative, of Tony Busby's narrative about Shannon Sharpe. This looks real bad. Real nasty and ugly. All right? But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be in Shannon Sharpe's shoes. I definitely don't want to be in Shannon Sharpe's shoes, but hey, it is what it is. Guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Go check out the other video. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. Deuces.